All right, well, this is an open meeting of the Ferndale Public Schools Board of Education. Scheduled for today, a regular meeting scheduled for today, Monday, April 20th, 2020, called to order at 7:02 p.m. Roll call, Ms. Shepherd.
Dookie.
Here.
Thank you. Hart.
Here.
Ibrahim. She's muted, but I see her. Kermuller.
Here.
Latash.
Here.
O'Donnell.
Here.
President Davison.
Here.
Thank you.
We have the Pledge of Allegiance on the agenda here. I'll address your appropriate flags, and I'll lead us. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. Approval of the agenda. Does anybody have any amendments or things that they would like to, any changes they would like to make to the agenda?
No.
Seeing none, we'll move on with the meeting. Ferndale student representatives, is Zoe Butters on the line? Nia Williams from UHS, will you, are you on the line?
Well, staff and administration started U-chats with every grade
I can't hear her.
Can you hear me?
Can you speak up a little bit for us?
Sorry. Staff and administration started U-chats with every grade level. These take place on Google Hangouts, and students can join via laptop or phone. The purpose of these chats are just to check up on students and answer any questions they may have. On Monday, seniors have their turn. Tuesdays is juniors. Wednesday is sophomores, and Thursday is freshmen. Along with this, teachers also have online office hours, and none of them overlap, so students can check in with their teachers if they need to. Our learning plan for the rest of the school year is actually a mixture of online learning and work from packets that were sent to each student. Students should receive their second packet in the week, their second packet in the next week if they haven't already received it. We also had a virtual spirit week from March 16th through the 20th. Monday was pajama day. Tuesday was St. Patty's Day. Students were encouraged to wear green or rainbow. Wednesday was What You're Reading Day. We were to share a photo of the book that we are currently reading. Thursday was the first day of spring, so we were to send a photo of us playing outside. And Friday was School Spirit Day, so we were to wear school colors or spirit wear. And my favorite day was What You're Reading Day, because I actually just started a new poetry book, and it's really good. Are there any questions?
Naya, what book are you reading?
It's called When the World Didn't End. It's just a different assortment of poems. It's really nice. Any other questions? If that'll be all, that concludes my report. Thank you.
Good seeing you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Naya. Okay, well, we move on to item 3 on the agenda, the presentation of the Superintendent's Excellence Award.
So this month we have 2 recipients of the Superintendent's Excellence Award. We really wish that we could have done this in person, but both of the students that we're going to be recognizing today are well-deserved, well-deserved to be recognized even in this, less than ideal circumstance. The first recipient this month is Arden Jugman, who is an 8th grade student at Ferndale Middle School. Arden was nominated by her teacher, Miss Coram, and I'm going to share a little bit of the submission that Miss Coram submitted on behalf of Arden. Arden is a member of the National Junior Honor Society and has exceptional citizenship marks. I've had Arden this past year. Every day she would stay after school and help me in my classroom. I never once asked her to do this. She just started volunteering to stay one day and has come every day since. This year I don't have her as a student, but she continues to assist me each and every day. She cleans up my board, she helps me set up the next day, she feeds my guinea pig, and other random acts of kindness. Most of the time, if she sees something that needs to be done, Arden does it without having anyone ask to do it. Arden also participates in volunteer work outside of school as a member of NJHS. Recently, she has helped a family raise a family of foster kittens. Arden is an avid dancer. Every day she tells me about hour-long practice and dances that she has to recite and memorize. Somehow she manages dance practice nearly every day while maintaining a very high GPA. Last year, Ms. Coram had the honor of watching her and perform in the dance studio's production of the Nutcracker, which was fantastic. Arden is a well-rounded student. She has a good head on her shoulders. I am impressed with her ability to manage multiple workloads and extracurricular activities. She always has a positive attitude and is willing to help others. I think she definitely deserves to be recognized for all of her hard work. So Arden, usually at this point, we would take a picture and say congratulations. I hope I did mail something in the mail. I hope you did receive it. But if you want to share a few words, we'd love to have you speak.
To say that. Okay. Thank you. That was really, okay. That was really awesome. Like, okay. I don't really have anything to say. Except for thank you.
Well, we appreciate everything you do. We appreciate all your hard work, and eventually when we are all able to get back together, we'll certainly recognize you in our normal way. But thank you for everything you do to make Ferndale great.
Thank you.
Keep up the great work.
Congratulations, Arden.
Thank you.
Nice work, Arden.
So this month's second recipient of the Superintendent's Excellence Award is Elena Tegan Krause, who was nominated by Mr. Scott Wellborn at Ferndale High School. Elena has all A's for all 3 of her years at school. She has challenged herself with 17 semesters of AP courses, 12 semesters of honors courses, including 5 AP classes last semester and 4 AP classes this semester. Not only does she have a high GPA, Elena participates in other activities such as soccer and basketball. She's also a member of the theater group and received awards as the Best Freshman Thespian and Best Musical Crew Member. Elena leads by example in and outside of the classroom. She is driven to succeed in whatever she attempts and has a broad range of interests and involvement within the FPS family. She is thoughtful and respectful in her comments in class discussions and in her collaborations with other classmates. As stated, she has a diverse background, also playing volleyball, basketball, soccer, theater, student council, Gender Sexuality Alliance. In the past, she has also volunteered at Renaissance Vineyard Church, the homeless shelter. Her hobbies include running, learning Spanish, and Hindi outside of the school. She also enjoys board games. Elena is a very bright young lady that has all the qualities you want to see in a student. She rises to the challenge in front of her and is undaunted in seeking additional challenges to tackle. Mr. Wellborn stated, as a student in his AP class, he has been impressed by her thoughtful answers and quiet leadership. She is among the top 1% of students that I have taught in my 27 years as a teacher. Elena, we are so proud of you and all your accomplishments, and know that you have a very bright future ahead of you. We thank you for all of your contributions to Ferndale Public Schools. Again, you're the type of student who leads by example and also pushes the adults around you to higher thinking and deeper thinking as well. We have Elena Degan Krause with us, and we also have Mr. Wellborn here with us as well. Anyone want to say anything? Mr. Wellborn, do you want to go first, and then we'll let Elena go?
Sure. You stated all the stuff that I had talked about her. Elena is just a calm presence in the room. She has a self-confidence that is, as I said, undaunted in the way that she goes after things. And really impressed with her as a student, and appreciate having her in class every day.
Elena, anything you would like to add?
I just want to say thank you, and I feel honored to be recognized this way.
We thank you and your parents, and again, something that we'll hopefully celebrate again when we're all back together. So thank you.
Way to go, Elena.
Congratulations, Elena.
Congratulations, Elena.
All right. Thank you all. Now we move along to the presentation of the Eagle of the Month Award. Go ahead, Dr. Bazzi.
This month, we are recognizing Drew McCaskill, who was nominated by Julia Osborne this month. So I'm going to share a little bit of her submission, and then we'll recognize Mr. McCaskill. Mr. Drew is dedicated to ensuring every student he comes in contact feels safe and welcome. I have witnessed his kindness on many occasions in a variety of settings. He is a constant in the children's lives, and I can see the look on their faces that they are just as happy to see him as he is to see them. He is an important member of the elementary school family, and for this reason, I've nominated him for Eagle of the Month. Every morning, Mr. Drew goes out of his way to make sure every student coming in off the bus at Lower is greeted by a smiling face. His hands are up in the air, anxiously waiting for a high five as the children walk by. Many bypass his hand and go straight for his legs, giving him a squeeze to reciprocate the affection they obviously feel towards him. He knows each child's name and recognizes when they have not been in school and if they are not smiling. He makes sure they hear encouraging messages as they proceed into the building. He leads with his heart and treats every child as a member of his own family. Ms. Osborne has stated that Mr. Drew, she's known him for several years now. His smile is the first thing most kids see in the morning and the last thing they see before the end of a long day. His good mood is contagious and so very appreciated by parents and children alike. So this month we are recognizing Mr. Drew McCaskill as our Eagle of the Month. Drew, you on with us?
He is not, but I did just receive a text from him, and he said for some reason he can't download the link. He's done everything that he can. He's very sad he can't accept the award with all of us. I feel very proud to have won the award. I really love the kids and my job. I try to keep a positive attitude every day that I'm at work. Thanks for always keeping the door open. So.
All right, well, we'll do it. We'll do it a different way again in the future. But please, Diana, let him know that we're very thankful to have him a part of the Ferndale family.
I will. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we move to the presentation of the 15th Annual John Bassier Scholarship Award.
Sean, you on with us?
Yes, I am.
All right.
So this award went to KJ Littleton. he is just an outstanding young man. Little history, my wife taught the oldest brother, who is now 36. I've known KJ since he's been born. Has a great mom, great support group, but he is the humblest kid, never showboats, and does everything you're supposed to do in and out of the classroom. He's accepted a full scholarship to go to school and continue to play football at Madonna University, hopefully next fall. And can't say enough good things about him.
All right, thanks, Sean.
Thank you, Sean. And the second recipient is Joe Lewis Estelle.
I don't believe we have a rep from UHS on, but
Yeah, but I can speak to him. Yeah.
thank you. Thanks, Sean.
He is, when we combine the programs, you know, there was always that apprehension of two schools coming together, and he became our quarterback. And he was just the non-demonstrative, quiet leader from the quarterback position. And for a kid to come in not knowing anybody on the team and take the QB1 spot, it's pretty remarkable. And he did just a great job. And one of the things that really stands out is not only the classroom, but just what a positive kid he really is. And those are the types of things that when you combine two programs and you have a kid exemplify that type of attitude, it just makes you proud to have those kids in your program.
All right.
All right, well, thank you very much, Mr. Butler. And the district is certainly proud of those students and their accomplishments. We'll move along to item 6 on the agenda, the building presentation for the month from Mrs. Diana Keefe, the principal of Lower Elementary.
Good evening, everyone. Normally, I would have a whole group of students around me, so this is a little bit different than what I'm used to. So I do have a slide presentation for you. We'll look at the 3 rocks that we have at Lower this year, and then talk a little bit about one of the objectives from empowerment for the strategic plan. So is that how it shows on the screen there, Danya? Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, it's kind of, yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. So every year at Lower, we pick a statement and a one word. So our statement this year was #BeTheOne, knowing that one caring adult can be the difference in someone's life. So we have students that were chosen by teachers as the students that maybe need a little bit extra. So all of the circuit staff, myself, anyone that does not have a classroom has several students that we have assigned to them as the caring adult, the extra caring adult for the Be the One. So that is a focus for us. And then our one word this year was impact. And we talked a lot about that impact could be just like we said about Mr. Drew. It could be as you welcome them off of the bus. Our impact doesn't just have to be in the classroom with a math lesson or a reading lesson, but it can be wherever we are in our school, on the playground, in the lunchroom, in the classroom. But what impact are we making, and thinking about that, focusing and reflecting on that. And then of course, in Ferndale, we have the #IamFerndale. So those are some 3 important things for us at Lower that we've been working on this year. So our 3 rocks, our first rock is under high quality instruction, and it's about student discourse in math and ELA. And I'll talk a little bit more about each one of these. The second rock is about culture combined with high quality instruction and having culturally responsive teaching and increase that engagement in the classroom. And then our third rock is culture, and that is our culture of being a whole child school. We can go on to the next one. So under that first rock, student discourse in math and ELA, it really started out as a math goal, and then we just realized that that language is so important at our level especially, and so getting students to repeat their friends or to add on to a statement. So increasing the listening and the speaking all throughout the day. So we had some professional development from Oakland schools this year, and that was something that we were working on and just beginning to collect some of that focus data on. And met with the leadership team about last week or so, and we have decided to maintain all of these rocks that I'm talking about. We do not feel that we perfected them. We're not there yet, so it's a work in progress. So we will continue with each of these rocks for next year as well. The second rock, culturally responsive teaching and engagement strategies. So the staff was engaged with culturally responsive teaching in the brain by Isd Budget, and with that book study and focus on proactive and restorative strategies. So we have a restorative practice coach. She's done just some training, and we've started to do a couple restorative circles with certain students at that tier 3 level, and just getting some other foundational skills and practice and to be proactive about that. And then the third one, just being a whole child, whole school, focusing on that overall health and wellness for students, families, staff, and more than ever, that is a big push right now, doing check-ins with families, talking with them, making sure that they are safe, they are healthy. So definitely continuing with that one as well. So the one strategic plan area that I wanted to highlight today is empowerment. And it is expand upon opportunities that examine, motivate, and ensure physical, mental, and nutritional health and overall wellness for students, families, and staff members. And then I broke it down in 6 different categories, and I will briefly go over each category. You have the paper in a pretty form. That empowerment link is in a pretty form, but I will go through each of the slides with a few photos and a couple of highlights from that. So the next slide. So the first one under empowerment is communication, and that is a lot about who we are and what we believe in. So the one picture there is when we accepted at MEMSA the Whole Child Award that was given. This was their 2nd year. Really an honor to be there, and I think that is just a testament to all of the work that we do. But under communication, I just put the new Q communication system that we're using this year to get the information out to everyone. Mainstay with a weekly principal newsletter, trying to always give information to families. And then, of course, the big work that was done this year with the updated district handbook. So I have a couple other things under communication, but I thought those were the big ones that we worked on this year. Social emotional learning, and it looks like I updated the slides, but they're not in there. That's okay. I can just talk about them. So you know that teachers and administrators from around the state are coming to Ferndale Lower and Upper, and actually all of our schools, Ferndale, because of our social emotional learning, and I'm just really proud of that work. So a couple of the pictures highlight some peer-to-peer work that we have between students and empowering them to be that peer support. The district has the Great Kindness Challenge, so the picture in the middle are some of our friends that met the challenge, exceeded the challenge, and were receiving a certificate for it. along with that social emotional learning, just getting students to talk to each other, work through issues, identifying their feelings and their problems. We have a strong social emotional learning curriculum that's updating the modules, always looking to what our school needs and adjusting and tweaking as needed. That is a committee that I've been meeting with several times during this shutdown as we make plans for tomorrow, next month, this summer, and moving into the fall. So I think that's it. Professional development opportunities. I already mentioned that we are doing the book study for culturally responsive teaching, but we also, the district has some yoga and mindfulness sessions that our that our teachers can attend, because the health of the teachers is just as important. I said to our staff this week, you're no good to anyone if you're not good to yourself first. We have to take care of ourselves. So just making sure that we have that culture and that there's different opportunities for them to go and learn about things that they want to learn about or things that are going to support them. And the next one. So our mental health specialist, that's a new position. Thank you for that this year. Ms. Malika has been a breath of fresh air for us. She is supporting staff with Monday Matters information, wellness activities for us, information for us to read, and she's faithful every Monday to do that for us. She does small group and large group. So these pictures of her doing a large group and teaching them to do roller coaster breathing and some flower breathing and just helping them to de-stress. So she is also doing individual check-ins, and she continues to do that during this time. Lots of wellness initiatives. So we have a full-time food corps member this year. So she's really supported us with our learning and continuation. So we have some veggies are yummy there. We have 4 to 5 taste tests a year. And then we try to get those items in our menu. We've updated our menu, worked with Chartwells for that. We have we have hands-on lessons that are going on in the classrooms, and we have a lending library, and we've had a lending library in the past, but it wasn't used very often, and so this year we've bumped it up, and we actually put questions in the back of each book and outlined a lesson plan so teachers can just grab and go if there's something going on or a nutrition lesson that they want to plan. So a lot of health and wellness initiatives going on there. And the last one, community partnerships. Our big ones are Playworks and Food Corps and Reading Corps and Big Green Garden. You see our garden there, and a few of us are getting ready to plant some things in there in the next week, 6 feet apart, of course. And we also this year gained 2 new community partnerships. We have a partnership with OMPT Foundation, and they have provided school supplies and clothes for our clothes closet, which is so important. We say that, you know, if a student does have an accident and we don't have any clothes, 9 times out of 10, they get picked up and they stay home. So we don't want them to miss school. So it's just easier for us to have clothes at our school. We can help them get changed and get right back to class so the learning's not missed. That's been a powerful support for us. And then Royal Oak First United Methodist Church, they provided healthy snacks every month for us for classrooms that were low on them. They did donations for our classrooms, for our clothes closet. They did a big giving tree around the holidays, and all of our students were able to take home some special treats. So that was a nice partnership. And that partnership is growing to tutoring and support at camps as we get ready to go back to school. And I think that was the last one. Oh. Yeah. So I'm sorry I thought the PowerPoint would update. So I have an updated one, but that's okay.
Yeah, I have to put the packet online, so it has to be accessible, so I have to put it as a PDF. I will send the board the most updated link after the meeting to make sure that's the latest. Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Just quickly, I just want to say thank you to Diana. She has been invaluable during this crisis time, this difficult time. She is the first to be willing to lend a hand, to come to the building, to get parents what they need. She's really went above and beyond, and I just want to recognize you, that we're very thankful for all your efforts in supporting our families during this time.
Thank you so much. I just miss everyone. I need to be around people, and this has been strange, to say the least.
I hear you.
Any questions or comments from the board? Well,
No questions. Thank you very much, though. It's we don't often get a chance to see a lot of the depth, especially those of us who are older, of what's going on at Ferndale Lower Elementary. So I appreciate the presentation.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you very much. And I do miss not having the little ones surrounding us when we're in the nest, but it's good to see you.
Yeah. I'm excited that we're still going to be able to do work on the garden, even with all that's going on. I mean, that's become such a nice part of Lower. I'm glad it's going to continue.
Right. So Anna, the food corps worker, and I hope to get that planted. And I said, I don't know if we'll be able to use it in May, June, July, but I think it's worth a shot. So yes, I think that garden is wonderful.
All right. Thank you, Mrs. Keefe. That brings us to the public comment portion of tonight's meeting. There are 3 minutes allotted per speaker. This is the opportunity for the public to speak publicly in the board meeting about items that are either on the agenda or not on the agenda. And if you would like feedback from the district, please email the superintendent's assistant, Ms. Shepard, at kimberly.shepard@ferndaleschools.org, and the district will be sure to respond. Do we have any folks from the community that would like to share during public comment this evening? If so, go unmute yourself and go right ahead.
Mike, can you hear me? This is Maurice.
Yes.
Hi, this is Maurice Talsford, the president of the FEA. Just a few things. One, we haven't had a chance to thank the voters for passing the bond. So on behalf of the teachers, we just want to say thank you. It's incredible to see such overwhelming support for the district. Two, we're bargaining right now. So we had 2 productive sessions, and we have a third one coming up on the 27th, I believe, of April. So hopefully we can wrap that up pretty soon. And 3, this is just a good thing about the insurance that we have. Mesa is doing free mental health checks. So a lot of people are struggling just with the isolation of being unable to connect with students or family members. So Mesa has a virtual doctor where teachers can call in and do free mental health checks. So just want to spread the word about that. That's it.
Thank you, Maurice. Is there anybody else on the call that would like to share tonight? All right, well, we will move along then. We'll close public comment and move along to the consent agenda for tonight's meeting. Item 8.1, the request to approve minutes of the regular meeting dated Monday, March 16th, 2020. Item 8.2, request to approve minutes of the special committee of the whole meeting from Monday, March 30th, 2020. Item 8.3, the request to approve bills and accounts for the month of March. Item 8.4, the request to approve resignations and new hires. And item 8.5, the request to approve the Head Start Director's Report. Does anybody wish to pull any items from the consent agenda? All right, seeing none, roll call, Ms. Shepherd on the consent agenda?
Dookie,
Yes.
Hart,
Yes.
Abraham,
Yes.
Kermuller,
Yes.
Latash,
Yes.
O'Donnell,
Yes.
President Davison.
Yes.
Thank you.
With 7 yeses, the consent agenda is approved. That moves us to the action agenda items for the night. Item 9.1, the request to approve the Hazel Park Transportation Agreement for the 2021 school year.
Right, so this,
Oh, go ahead.
oh, go on, I'm sorry. I was gonna say, handing it over to Jamie, this is similar to what was discussed at the committee.
Committee of the whole, and this is just our annual extension of our management of the Hazel Park Transportation Agreement. We did extend a 3% increase to them this year. They did approve it. Their board approved it on March 16th. So this is just our annual business of approving it. Any questions?
All right. Is there a motion to pass this?
I'll move.
Moved by Nan, seconded by,
I can second.
thanks, Jen. Any further questions or comments? Seeing
I'm
none.
just, this is Jim. I'm just glad that that we're able to continue the partnership. I think it's good and responsible for our districts to cooperate as much as they can on these kinds of shared services. And we have a very strong transportation department. So
definitely, both our drivers, the Hazel Park drivers, and definitely the management, Cheryl Dirksey, and the dispatcher mechanic, they all do a great job.
And this is a relationship we've had now for some time, and it seems to run
It started in 2015.
It's an agreement that we've been entering into over the years, and it's been working really smoothly. So it's good for it to continue. Roll call, Ms.
Absolutely. We have a tremendous transportation department.
Hart,
Yes.
Abraham,
Yes.
Kermuller,
Yes.
Latash,
Yes.
O'Donnell,
yes.
Dookie,
Yes.
President Davison.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. With 7 yes votes, item 9.1 is approved. Item 9.2, the request to approve the summer sinking fund projects.
Yes, we work with our architect Wakely Associates to develop our summer sinking fund projects. We held a public bid opening on March 6th for the general contracting work, and we reviewed all those projects last week at our committee of the whole. We had 5 bidders that submitted proposals for that. We interviewed 4 of them, and our low responsive bidder was Phoenix Professional Contracting. So we are recommending an awarding of a base bid of $467,545. And then we also have the middle school classroom blinds added in at $38,000. Additionally, we had a bid package for flooring at the Early Childhood Center gym and the middle school classroom carpets. We had 6 bidders put in proposals on that. and the low bidder is Tricks Creek Flooring. They have a base bid of FECC flooring at $48,000. The middle school carpet came in at $81,900, and then we're recommending an alternate carpet, which is a similar manufacturer, similar warranty, for a $14,300 credit. So the total for both projects is $621,145. Normally we shoot for around $900,000, but we're trying to be a little conservative this year, not knowing where the budgets are going to come in with everything that's happening in the state.
Is there a motion to approve the request for the to approve the summer sinking fund projects?
I'll move.
Moved by Jackie,
I second.
seconded by Jim. Comments, discussion, questions?
Like, you have a good handle on it.
Thank you.
Like you mentioned, we talked about it at the committee of the whole meeting. I appreciate the depth that the process that you undertake each time you do this. That includes a vetting of the contractors and a close look at the bids. And I always feel confident that you've done your work and that you'll continue to monitor it.
Yeah, the only challenge for this summer is going to be when the restrictions will be lifted. I mean, we all hope we're done here on April 30th and we can start going to work. But if they do indeed extend that, because right now they put a hold on a lot of the construction projects throughout the state, and I know that's hurting a lot of school districts. But these projects typically wouldn't start until after school lets out, so there shouldn't be an impact. But that's just something we're going to want to keep an eye on.
Roll call, Ms. Shepherd?
Ibrahim,
Yes.
Mueller,
Yes.
Latash,
Yes.
O'Donnell,
Yes.
Dookie,
Yes.
Hart,
Yes.
President Davison.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. With 7 votes, the motion passes. That moves us to item 9.3, the request to approve the amendment to the 2020-2021 Schools of Choice window.
Hello, everybody. How you guys doing?
Hello.
You hear me okay?
Hey, Bill.
Yes. Thanks, Bill.
Good
Yeah.
to see everybody. So this is a pretty simple request. Our enrollment numbers are just not where we'd like them to be due to the obvious circumstances that are going on right now. So we're just asking that the board extend some of our school choice windows that were about to expire so that we can get out beyond the current lockdown order by the governor to allow families to complete and really, it's really less about completing the applications and more about allowing us to be open when people are starting to think about school for next year. I think right now folks just aren't thinking that far ahead. And I think it's important that we kind of push those windows back just a little bit to allow for families to have the opportunity to enroll once they've finally gotten their minds wrapped around what's going to be going on in a couple months. So we're looking at extending the kindergarten window out until May 15th, and then extending the windows for 1st, 2nd, and 6th, 7th, and 8th out until June 30th. Any questions?
And just so that we're all understanding, depending on how things go with enrollment and the current status of the community, those dates could be extended again if people need the extension, if the district needs the extension.
Correct. Yeah, we checked with the state with that, and the answer we got back from the state was that essentially, as long as we started with an unlimited window, which we did, we're allowed to push that back with just a board vote. We do not need to do a special waiver to extend that window. So as long as the board votes to approve it, we can incrementally push it back.
All right, is there a motion to approve agenda item 9.3?
So move.
Moved by Jim, seconded by
Second.
Anna. Any further questions or comments?
Just a general note. Certainly, it's a lot different environment for the whole world than when we discussed this.
Yeah.
Yep.
It seems like a year ago, but it was only a few months ago. So yeah, just speaking for myself, I completely understand how we have to respond to this. So just let us know if you need, any other stuff from us, and we'll do what we need to.
Yeah, and I also want to let the board know that we are really investigating alternative ways to take in, the traditional paperwork, both so to allow folks to get paperwork in now, as well as eventually when we're able to go back in the office. I don't see a time where social distancing will not be something under consideration. So we're also brainstorming ways we can take in physical paperwork while limiting people's time in and out of the office. So we're looking at everything while still, like I say, wanting to make sure that we're going and being as flexible as we can to make sure we get the needed paperwork.
All right, thank you, Mr. Good.
Thank you.
Roll call, Ms. Shepherd.
Mueller,
Yes.
Latash,
Yes.
O'Donnell,
Yes.
Dookie,
Yes.
Hart,
Yes.
Ibrahim,
Yes.
President Davison.
Yes.
Thank you.
With 7 yes votes, the item passes. Item 9.4, the request to approve the Ferndale Public Schools Continuity of Learning and COVID-19 Response Plan.
So on the line, I have Tom and Dina, who were instrumental in getting our response plan completed. We did successfully get that to the ISD last week, and it was in turn approved by the ISD and then sent on to the state to document that. We would like the board to approve it because even though there's, students are being held harmless, this still is counting as days and hours in a sense. And so we want to make sure that a part of this provision was that the board was, had purview to this prior to us submitting. And so although it's not a requirement, it's kind of us being extra cautious so that if somebody comes back to us and says, was this approved by your Board of Education, we'll be able to say yes. But Tom, Dina, if there's anything you want to add, please do. They worked so hard, so quickly on this, probably working all of spring break, morning, evening, to make sure we had a good plan, and then working with each principal to make sure we're all on the same page and getting grading expectations and just kind of orchestrating that. They did not have a spring break as a result of having to get this plan done. So anything the two of you'd like to add? Again, thank you for all your work on this.
I'll just stress that it very much was a team effort. Tanya, Dina, myself, but all the principals, many teachers were involved in the process, really trying to make sure that we have a solid plan to ensure that learning continues for all of the students in Ferndale Public Schools.
Thanks, Tom.
I appreciate it. I picked through it fairly carefully and appreciate the level of detail for different tiers of support and all the different schools and the varied methods for providing instruction to the students. And also that it was grounded in our strategic plan. It only made sense. It only makes sense that we continue to keep in mind how we're able to provide equitable access and representation and instruction for all of our students. So it's really a good document. I encourage the community to take a good look at it.
Oh, I'm sorry, just to add also Natalie Kulikowski, who's our special ed director, kind of her first full year with us and trying to ensure that our special education students are still getting access to a free and appropriate education. She's really went above and beyond to lay out a plan for her team and make sure that students' needs are being met. So also her component of the plan was very helpful and assuring to our families. So I just want to make sure I thank her for that as well.
This is no small task. This is absolutely amazing how quickly this was put together, how comprehensive it is, and taking into consideration the special needs. This really is awesome. Thank you, everybody who put this together.
Yeah, I just want to add my appreciation, and just when something like this, this kind of monumental event happens in the world, it's always the cost for it is always going to fall most heavily on people that have already been suffering from inequities and inequality. And so the fact that I think we are starting off from a good platform and awareness of where we needed to go in terms of equity particularly with race here in Ferndale is very helpful. And I see a lot of what we need to do in general also included in this plan, which I think is very appropriate. And, I think doing everything that we need to with respect to the plan and then going forward to try to close the gaps that are probably getting wider because of the digital divide is just, it'll be hard work when this starts to wind down. So I just appreciate the work that was put in here and the work that will be put in the months to come.
Is there a motion or any further comments, questions?
I guess I'll just echo everyone's thanks and appreciation for the tremendous amount of work that was put into this and to the entire plan and communication that's going on with the families and the kids, starting from Friday the 13th, when all the kids were brought into school to get their stuff and get their packets. It was incredible that it happened the first day, and the support that's been there since day one. I've heard from a lot of different parents in the district, and a lot of them are teachers in other districts, and they couldn't be more thrilled and proud to be a part of this district and how the kids and the families are being supported, so with education and with technology and with food and just looking out for the emotional well-being of everyone. So I couldn't be more proud myself to be part of this district.
I just want to echo everything that Jen said and agree with that. It's being a part of this district is a huge point of pride, and the care that's going into caring for our most vulnerable makes me very proud.
Thank you.
Is there a motion to approve the continuity of learning plan?
I'll move.
Moved by Jennifer, seconded by
Second.
Sandra. Any other questions or comment? Roll call, Ms. Shepherd.
Latash,
Yes.
O'Donnell,
Yes.
Dookie,
Yes.
Hart,
Yes.
Abraham,
Yes.
Kermuller,
Yes.
President Davidson.
Yes.
Thank you.
With 7 yes votes, the request to approve the Ferndale Public Schools continuity of learning and COVID-19 response plan is approved. Item 9.5, the request to approve AP Psychology course and textbook adoption purchase.
Tom, you with us?
Yeah, sorry, I had trouble getting unmuted there.
Oh,
Sorry
no.
about that.
All good.
Good evening once again, everybody. So I'm here to ask you to approve for Ferndale High School Advanced Placement Psychology. I want to start off by acknowledging that CASA does already offer AP Psychology, but as part of our work with Equal Opportunity Schools, one of our goals is to expand opportunities for all Ferndale High School students to take more AP classes. So part of that work, we had a meeting back in February. The equity team met, discussed options for new AP classes, and based on current staff who could teach classes, accessibility for students, and student demand, it was decided that advanced placement psychology would be a great place for us to start. So we're here to ask you to approve advanced placement psychology for Ferndale High School starting in the 2021 school year. The course outline will follow the College Board approved syllabus. See the 13 units there in the outline. This would be available to all Ferndale High School students with the thought that we could expand this to University High School in the near future. The reason that we didn't want to start with it at UHS this year as well is they're adding advanced placement United States history in the fall. We're going to talk about that the next item agenda, or the next item. So they wanted to start with one AP class, but they're definitely looking at adding additional AP classes at UHS in the very near future. But so FHS for 2021. So I apologize, I should have asked this before. Are we approving the course and then the text, or are we all together?
All together. So for
Okay.
advanced placement psychology, it's both. For the A-push class for UHS, it's just the textbook adoption because the course itself is already approved for Ferndale Public Schools because it's currently taught at Ferndale High School. So Tom explained it right that UHS wants to introduce more AP classes, but they want to start with A-push as opposed to AP Psych because the reason why we're bringing it to Ferndale High School is because CASA students typically are not 9th and 10th grade students. And rather than having A-push be the course that 9th graders or 10th graders are put into, the interest level of the students that we've surveyed has been towards AP Psych. So that's why the expansion of the psychology. A-push is already offered at Ferndale High School where it's not at UHS currently.
So I'll continue on with the textbook that we are requesting in order to provide some consistency with CASA. We're actually requesting the same textbook that is the primary textbook for AP Psych at CASA, and that's Myers AP Psychology. This will be the newest version. There's a new version coming out in June, so that's the one that we would like to purchase. It does have an online component as well as online teacher resources. The cost is $185 per student, looking at 35 student copies. Let's see, the teacher resources include print and online versions, a teacher's resource flash drive, and an AP Psychology test bank. Looking a little deeper into the budget, you'll notice on the sheet that the $185 cost is broken out basically $170 per textbook and online access, and that online access is for 6 years. In addition, there's a $15 supplemental book. It's called strive for 5. And if you know AP, 5 is the highest score you can get. So that's what that's referring to. In addition to the cost of the textbooks, we'd like to ask you to approve AP Summer Institute for the teacher of this course. That would amount to about $900. Grand total, $7,505, textbooks and teacher PD. Questions?
Hey, Tom,
Yeah,
how long, is this a full year course or is it one semester?
full year.
So Tom, I have a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
In the Ferndale High School course catalog, AP Psych is already listed. Is that the CASA course that we have listed in our book?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And Tom, I think I missed it, but that the 5 for 5 or whatever, the supplemental book, does each kid get one of those?
Yes, that is a paperback book. It would be non-consumable. So, but yes, every student would receive that, and you know, that would be the supplement to help prepare them for the AP exam.
And they get that to keep?
No, they would be checked out the book just like their hardcover book. The expectation is they would return it in the spring.
Okay, because you know that book gets a lot of wear and tear, and you're going to have a lot of ruined books by the end of the year, just so you know.
Noted. Thank you. Yeah. So are you suggesting we add a few extras there?
A lot extra. Just saying. Just saying.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions?
Just, you know, I'm glad that this is going to be offered and the strategy that's behind it. I'm grateful for that. And I know this is usually a highly enrolled course at CASA anyway. So clearly this is something that students are interested in.
Absolutely.
Do we already have a teacher in mind? I'm really glad that there's going to be teacher training for the course.
So currently we do have some staff who are certified, but probably not something that they would be, you know, I don't want to speak for them. Obviously we'll have those conversations.
Okay.
It might result in us having to post a 0.4, 0.6, or depending on staffing needs or who retires, like hiring an ELA / somebody who's certified in psych. It just depends where staffing is. But that's a great question. I don't have the answer yet, though.
Okay, no problem. I'm honestly just happy that there's going to be training for it, because I know that is a great training.
Yeah.
All right, do we have a motion to approve the 9.5 request to approve the AP Psychology course and textbook adoption purchase?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Sandra and seconded by Nan.
It was moved by Jackie.
Jackie, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Gotta get better at my voices. Any further questions or comments? Roll call, Ms. Shepherd.
O'Donnell. O'Donnell.
Oh, sorry. Yes, I thought I was unmuted.
That's okay. Dookie.
Yes.
Hart.
Yes.
Ibrahim.
Yes.
Hermuller.
Yes.
Latash.
Yes.
President Davison.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. With 7 yes votes, item 9.5, the request to approve the AP Psychology course and textbook adoption purchase is approved. Item 9.6, the request to approve AP US History and the textbook adoption and purchase.
Great. Thanks for approving AP Psychology. We appreciate that. So now we're going to ask you to approve a new Advanced Placement United States History textbook. We have been offering AP US History at Ferndale High School for a number of years. UHS wants to add a push for the fall of 2020. So in the process of UHS selecting a book, we actually had conversations with representatives from UHS and FHS. Turns out FHS's book was 6 years old, so we invited them to be part of the selection process. And the book that was agreed upon was Give Me Liberty. That is a print book with online access. We're requesting 70 copies, so 35 for each building, plus teacher resources at each building. Online access, again, 6 years. No teacher PD required. The teacher at University High School has taught AP US History at a previous school, and Bob Henderson has been teaching at Ferndale High School for a number of years. So just a textbook and shipping cost on this one, $10,581.38. Questions?
There are a limited number of textbooks that you can choose from because they have to be AP approved. So again, there's a very limited pool of books that can be selected from. And again, having both schools agree on the text is always a good thing. So, that's where it comes to.
Is there a motion to approve the AP US History textbook purchase?
I move.
Second.
Was that you, Anna? No, that was Sandra, wasn't it?
It was breaking up a little bit.
No, it was Anna.
Oh, moved by Anna and seconded by Jim. Any further questions or comments?
I just have a question about the books. So how often do we take a look at like our AP, especially like US history, to replace books for the curriculum? Do we have like a rotating schedule where we kind of review the books to update?
So in the past, there was a 5-year rotation, and then a couple of budget crunches ago, that kind of went out the window, and for a number of years, there was no textbook budget. And then a couple years ago, textbook item or a budget line item was brought back. The fact that the current Ferndale High School AP US History book is 6 years old and it was written, one of the things that AP has started doing is revising their tests. So the AP US History test is new. Our textbook, in addition to being 6 years old, was written for the old test. So it's a brand new textbook, similar to the AP Psych with a June published date. This one is also going to come out in June. So this will be aligned to the new test. But we definitely, I don't know if Dina is able to jump in or if her audio is wacky again, but this year we started a policy of we just need to look at textbooks that need to be replaced with the highest priority, depending on not just age, but alignment to standards, alignment to tests, etc. So
good to know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Roll call, Ms. Shepherd?
Dookie,
Yes.
Hart,
Yes.
Abraham,
Yes.
Mueller,
Yes.
Latash,
Yes.
O'Donnell,
Yes.
President Davison.
Yes.
Thank you.
With 7 votes, item 9.6, the request to approve the AP US History textbook and the adoption and purchase is approved. Item 9.7, the request to approve the resolution for Ferndale Public Schools Teacher Appreciation Week from May 4th through the 8th, 2020. This Teacher Appreciation Week is an opportunity for the district to recognize, in particular, what good work our teachers are doing, and it has been so evident during our current crisis education planning. So this proclamation spells out the board's the varied ways that the board recognizes and appreciates all the good work that our teachers do in support of all of our students. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but we are very grateful as a board for all that work that is done, not only now, but obviously prior to this as well. Does anybody have anything they'd like to add?
Be sure to celebrate this the week of the 4th. We just wanted to make sure it was on the agenda, as the next meeting would then be after this week. So
all right, roll call, or do I have a motion to approve the resolution in support of the Ferndale Public Schools teachers?
Support.
Moved by
Sandra.
and seconded by Jim.
Yes.
No other comments, questions. Roll call then, Ms. Shepherd, please.
Hart,
Yes.
Abraham,
Yes.
Vermueller,
Yes.
Latash,
Yes.
O'Donnell,
Yes.
Dookie,
Yes.
President Davidson.
Yes.
Thank you.
With 7 yes votes, the resolution in support of the Ferndale Public Schools for Teacher Appreciation Week is approved. Item 9.8, the request to approve the fiscal year 2021 ISD budget.
So Nancy, if you feel like jumping onto this, please do. This is an annual requirement of each district that resides within Oakland County. The ISD is looking for approval from each of the local school districts to approve their budget for the 2020-21 school year. They've outlined it they've outlined kind of what their increases, what their initiatives are focused on. They have a big Literacy Essentials Oakland project that Ferndale Public Schools is a part of and will be a part of in the future, that allows us to train one of our employees to be a literacy coach within the district that will help us further focus on 3rd grade reading. Again, it's something that each local school district is asked to approve. And it's before the board for that this year. Whether they're a local entity like us, so obviously they have certain autonomy. It's the board's wish if they approve it or not, but won't have an impact on if their budget goes through. That will be voted on by their board as well. They certainly want to know if there's support. There's nothing in there that put up red flags for me. I'm not a finance expert in ISD funding, but it's typical of what we've seen in the past. Nancy, if there's anything you want to add, please do.
I just want to mention in discussions with the business managers concerning this budget last week, they did mention that originally they had talked about having 1% and a step to their employees, but because of the situation we're currently find ourselves in, this is something that they're going to hold off on right now due to the uncertainty. So I just wanted to mention that.
Funny, I have it right on there on personnel cost at the 1%. It's by chance.
Oh, yeah, look at that. What are the chances?
What are the chances in all those pages?
So, yep, so they're going to wait on that to see, once they see what the actual impact of COVID-19 are. So,
Thank you, Nancy.
Is there a motion to approve the 2021 ISD budget?
So move.
Moved by Jackie, seconded by
Second.
Jim. Any other comments, questions? Roll call, Ms. Shepherd?
Ibrahim,
Yes.
Mueller,
Yes.
Latash,
Yes.
O'Donnell,
Yes.
Dookie,
Yes.
Hart,
Yes.
President Davison.
Yes.
Thank
With
you.
7 yes votes, item 9.8, the request to approve the 2021 ISD budget is approved. Item 9.9, the request to approve PFM as the bond process management firm for the March 2020 bond proceeds.
So this is the presentation that the PFM representative provided to the board at our last committee of the whole meeting. As discussed, we have to have a place for our money to be as we sell off bonds and wait for construction projects to start. Nancy, if you want to speak to a little bit, Nancy did check with firms and checked with PFM, and this was the final recommendation in terms of ensuring that our money was safe while we wait for construction projects to start.
yeah, so based on their methodology and how they're set up as an organization, I just felt that this was the best way for us to go. They're going to be using, the funds will go through MyLaugh, which we're already a member of. We'll just have to set up a few new accounts for that. But I really think this is the best way to manage the bond proceeds. And I know that the district has used them. We haven't used them to do this since I've been here because we haven't had a large amount of bond proceeds, but I know they have used this firm in the past for this.
Thanks, Nancy.
We had a nice presentation from the PFM representative in the committee of the whole meeting, and he detailed how our funds will be protected and also be accessible and all those things. So it was really reassuring. Any other questions or comments? Is there a motion to approve PFM as our bonds proceeds management firm?
So move.
Moved by Jim, seconded by
Second. Sandra.
Sandra. Roll call, Ms. Shepherd.
Mueller, Mueller,
I don't see her. Oh, she's muted.
I'll go over. Latash,
Yes.
O'Donnell,
Yes.
Dookie,
Yes.
Hart,
Yes.
Ibrahim,
Yes.
Mueller,
She may have had to duck out for a minute.
President Davison. Excuse me.
Yes. With 6 yes votes, the motion passes. to approve PFM as our bond process management firm for our March 2020 bond proceeds.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 9.10, the request to approve fiscal auditors for the 2019-2020 year.
So I'm going to have Nancy speak to this. Generally, this would be our third, this is our third year, or no, it's longer, right, Nancy? With
Yes. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, go on.
Yep. Yes. So, 2000. We have just completed our 5th year with Plant Moran as our auditors. We had gone out for bid. We had the contract was for 3 years with 2 optional years, which we exercised the option on both those, and we use those. This is a service, so it's not required to be bid, but we had planned on going to bid this year. But with everything that's gone on, we are requesting that we extend Plant Moran for 1 more year. They've given us this quote. As you can see, this is a little bit more than what we actually paid last year, but last year was actually a good year. And we didn't have a lot of extras that they had to do. So our fee was a little bit less than this. But this fee is actually less than some of the fees that we had paid in the past, not discounting last year. So we are, and then as you probably remember, there's a different partner. Our former partner, Eric Formberg, he retired in December from the firm. So we will now have, Never Krieger will be the partner on the engagement. So we are asking that you approve Plant Moran as our auditors for the 2020, well, for this summer, they'll be auditing fiscal year 1920. And then we will go out for bid in January, February timeframe of 2021.
Just feel it's very difficult to do a bid process remotely along with the food service bid, getting our second, our second amendment done, budget for 2020. This will give Nancy the ability to focus on some of the immediate things that need to get done rather than going through the bid process right now.
Any questions or comments?
No, it's reasonable.
Is there a motion to approve fiscal auditors Plant Moran for the 2019-2020 year?
So move.
Moved by Jim, seconded by
Second.
Anna.
Yep.
Any other questions, comments? Roll call, Ms. Shepherd. Oh, I'm sorry.
Roll call.
Go ahead. Yes, roll call.
Okay. Latash,
Yes.
O'Donnell,
Yes.
Dookie,
Yes.
Hart,
Yes.
Ibrahim,
Yes.
Mueller,
Yes.
President Davison.
Yes.
Thank you.
With 7 yes votes, the motion passes to approve our fiscal auditors for the 2019-2020 school year. That brings us to item 10, informational items, the budget to actual report.
It's my favorite report that Nancy does for us. We're getting closer. Percent remaining of the budget this year is at 35.56. If you noticed, every month prior we were ahead of our spending. Now it seems that we've, as we said, things would balance out. But now the rules are kind of thrown out because how our budget's impacted, there's some things that it's impacting positively, unfortunately. And then there's some things that are being negatively impacted. Nonetheless, we feel that we're still keeping an eye on the budget. We'll be okay at the end of this fiscal year. We'll continue to monitor it and make sure that things are going well, but we've also made sure that students are supported at the same time. So again, the variance is explained. I thank Nancy for providing this each month as a good check and balance and making sure that our spending is in line with what the board.
All right, thank you, Danya and Nancy. Item 11 on the agenda, the consideration of any pulled consent agenda items, which there were none. Item 12, our next special board meeting is a committee of the whole meeting scheduled for Monday, May 4th, 2020. And item 13, our next regular board meeting is scheduled for Monday, May 18th, 2020. And that leads us to our Eagle Points of Pride for this month.
Well, I'll go first then. Did I just jump in ahead of somebody?
No.
No, okay. And I'm doing this first because I'm sure everybody's probably thinking the same thing. There's a lot of heroes right now, and we hear about the doctors and the nurses and the respiratory therapists, and they certainly are. But there's also another group, and that's our teachers, our parapros, everybody who makes education happen. And right now in Ferndale, I would say that they are, everybody in our school district, right from the superintendent all the way down, I think have done a pretty remarkable job at getting things together quickly and being an amazing service to this whole community. And Nan said it earlier that she's very, very part of this district. I think that goes without saying. So for all those heroes, I applaud you. Thank you.
So I'm going to follow Anna. I work in a district, and I have been part of like the crisis planning and all of that, and some of the education planning. I've also fielded some phone calls from parents in my district, and I just want to, what I hear here in Ferndale is very different, which means our staff has gone way above and beyond with taking care of our community, our kids, reaching out. And I'm just grateful for everyone who's boots to the ground or checking on internet and making phone calls, like taking care of the kids. So I too want to send all of my gratitude to all of the staff that have contributed in whatever way they can.
I'm gonna jump on there now. And I of course agree with all of this, but I want to focus in on one teacher in particular and talk about Mrs. Gonska, who's really gone above and beyond with our Blessings in a Backpack program and expanded it to make sure that she's getting food out to families when they need it most, and expanding it to families who may have lost jobs or become suddenly food insecure. She's a good example of the people that work in the Ferndale public school system, and it's a pretty special thing.
I'm happy to go next. I would just like to give a shout out to the class of 2020. The seniors are not having sort of the end of the year that they would have liked or preferred to have, I think, nor are their families. So just know that we're thinking about, you know, I hope they know that we're thinking about them and trying to think of ways that we can make their last year in high school the best that it can be given the circumstances. And I know they're going off to a lot of exciting things, and so you know, that it's hard to put together words that make up for that, but I just appreciate their fortitude in facing all this.
I guess I can continue on with the theme of the night and just again thank, like I said earlier, all the teachers and staff and admin who have worked so hard for the kids. I really have not heard anything negative from the parents or the guardians. If I'm out walking and I happen to see someone socially distancing from across the street, they almost tear up saying, "Thank you so much. Everyone's doing such an amazing job." You know, I'm getting phone calls from principals. I never expected them to call me personally. My kids feel supported. I couldn't be more happy that all my neighbors and loved ones are getting the food that they need. It's really been an amazing thing to see. I wish none of us had to live through this, but I always knew that our community could rise up to any challenge. I think this might be the first time too that I've not seen any complaints about the sheer number of text messages us parents get, which is pretty cool. I like all the communication that we're getting. It's a confusing time, whether if you're not working, if you are working, trying to all of a sudden deal with this crisis and be teachers. I think we'll all walk out of this having a whole different love and appreciation for the teachers moving forward. And even today, my kids started their first impact hour, and to see 2 teen boys in middle school actually laughing, giggling, and engaging during impact hour was a shock to me. So kudos to the teachers that are doing impact hour with all of our kids. So it's tough, it's rough, but I know we'll get through this together. So thank you.
And I just kind of want to echo what everyone else has said, and also, like Jen was saying, the teachers just touching base, not only just academically with the students, but also checking in social, emotionally, just to see how the students are doing. I know my son is thrilled just to hear his teachers' voices and just to check in and to know that the teachers care and that they're really concerned and checking in with the students on a personal level. Really makes me feel proud to be part of Ferndale. But I also want to take this time to give a shout out to both Janae and Naya, our student reps from UHS. They have done an amazing job this year of participating and always being in our meetings and just being engaged. They've been on the call for the whole meeting tonight, so kudos to both of you. It was good seeing your faces. Naya, I know we have one more meeting with you, but I look forward to being able to celebrate with you when we can, your graduation. And Janae, I look forward to working with you next year as a senior and being our student rep for UHS.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I just want to, oh, sorry, go on, Mike. I didn't know if it's you or me. Go on.
I don't remember who goes first.
It's been so long since I've seen you, I don't remember.
Yeah, I may not remember even when we see each other. I'm a social worker. I'm interested, obviously, in academic success, but in my profession, I'm acutely interested in social emotional well-being of people. So just as Jackie said, I have really been pleased by all the social emotional work that the district has done, and proud of it, right along with all the academic work. The support of students and families right now is particularly important, and it's really important that staff pay attention to their own needs as well and make sure that they're kind to themselves as they're caregiving for all the students and families. So I appreciate that work, and you know, I just encourage everybody to I know as we were undertaking the work today with our kids, we're encouraging them and also caring for their emotional needs, because this is a tough time being isolated from everybody. So it's really important work, and I'm really proud of all that the district has done along those lines during this process, to echo much of what's already been said.
So again, I'll echo what everybody has said. Every single staff member has really stepped up to provide our community and students multiple ways to continue the learning and multiple ways to reach out to us if they need assistance with anything. Everyone's went above and beyond. I echo what Jim says to our seniors. You know, we're thinking of you, and understand that this isn't the way that we wanted your educational career with Ferndale Public Schools to end, and we're going to figure out ways to honor you, and but know that we understand that it's a difficult time for some of them, and we're here to support them. So again, I wish we weren't going through it, but I am glad to see how everyone has responded and been overly supportive to make sure that our students have what they need, and our families have what they need, and our staff have what they need. So hopefully this will pass soon, and we'll be able to be together once again.
Now I'm gonna cry.
I'm trying not to.
All right, there's a request to go into closed session to discuss contract negotiations, also to include Dr. Bazzi, Nancy Hoover, and Teresa Volcano. Is there a motion to go into closed session?
I move.
Moved by Jackie and seconded by
Second.
Jen. All right, well, in that case then at 8:40 p.m. we will move into closed session.
All right, thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Well, let's come out of closed session at 8:56 then, I guess. So we're out of closed session. It's and we adjourn our meeting tonight at 8:57 p.m.